and today's video is my August TBR. I'm headed back to college in exactly 3 weeks, so I'm trying to fit in as much reading as I possibly can before then. I'm hoping to read 2 classics this month, Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. I'm fairly certain most of you are familiar with Peter Pan, so I'll skip the synopsis for that one and jump straight to Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde tells the story of a scientist named Henry Jekyll who tests various chemicals in the lab on himself. This has some undesirable effects, including releasing an evil side to his personality. The book focuses on this double-sided coin of good versus evil, and includes a lot of discussion about morality. The only other book I've read by Robert Louis Stevenson is Treasure Island, and that was quite a few years ago for a school project. While I wasn't crazy about the writing style, I did have a lot of fun with the plot, so I'm hoping that'll be the case with this one as well. The next book on my TBR is A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab. This is the second book in a Darker Shade of Magic series, and the series revolves around 4 different Londons: Red London, Grey London, Black London, and White London. The protagonist, Kell, is a magician who's able to travel between these various Londons, transporting letters between the different monarchies. He also smuggles trinkets from one London to the next. Kell gets himself into a bit of trouble when he smuggles a particular item into Red London, which is the basis for the first book in the series. I don't want to give away any more than that to avoid spoilers. I finished the first book in the series in July and gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I loved the fantastical elements, the magic system, the world building, and the characters. I'm excited to see how all of the characters continue to develop and grow in this book, as well as following the plot as more of it starts to unravel. The remaining books on my TBR are all thrillers. I'm a firm believer that you shouldn't have too much knowledge of a plot or the characters before starting a thriller, so I generally don't do much research before picking up a thriller. To avoid spoiling any plot points, I'll be giving a bare basic summary, pretty much limited to the information on the backs of these books. The first thriller that I'm hoping to read is a young adult. It's The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. The premise of the book revolves around thoughts being projected for everyone to hear. The main character, Todd, is on the run, which is made that much more difficult by his thoughts being broadcast to everyone around him. YA thrillers are definitely not my cup of tea. I usually find the plots a bit watered down, the characters are repetitive, and find the books overall to be a bit laughable. This book comes highly recommended though, so I have higher hopes for this. Next up is Angels and Demons by Dan Brown. It's the first book in a series and has a fairly popular movie adaptation. The series follows Robert Langdon as he attempts to prevent the Illuminati from destroying the Catholic Church. I watched the first 2 movies as soon as they came out, and I would definitely consider them favorites. As a result, I have pretty high expectations for this series. This is a pretty hefty book, over 700 pages long, so I'm confident that not everything in the book made it into the movie. I'm curious to see what's different and what they decided to exclude from the movie altogether. The next book on my TBR is Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. Gillian Flynn is also the author of Gone Girl, which I read about a year ago, and that sparked my initial interest in thrillers. Dark Places follows 7-year-old Libby Day, whose mother and sisters are both killed. When the case is taken to court, Libby testifies against her brother, asserting that he was the murderer. Several decades later, the Kill Club uncovers Libby, seeking the truth and trying to free her brother. Seeing this as an opportunity to make a profit, Libby agrees to return to her hometown and attempt to uncover more facts about the murders. I've also not been great at keeping up with authors, especially if I've liked one of their works in the past. I'm hoping Dark Places lives up to Gone Girl, and I can add Gillian Flynn to my list of all-time favorite authors. The final book on my TBR is a classic thriller, Shutter Island by Dennis Lehane. The Ashcliff Hospital for the Criminally Insane is located on Shutter Island, and they have a mysterious disappearance, causing 2 U.S. Marshals to go out to the island and investigate. While they're there, a hurricane strikes, cutting off all possible routes off the island. To make matters worse, a murderer has escaped and is roaming the island. My August TBR is fairly ambitious. I have 7 books, quite a few of those are long, but I'm trying to finish off the summer strong before I head back to college. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.